this is Carla Barnhill with Spark House, and this is this week's dialogue. Your first chapter in the book is on the church and the refugee crisis, and this chapter is really covering the history of the church's involvement with refugees in terms of resettlement, in terms of activism, and just sort of tracing the ways that the church globally has been involved in this issue for nearly a century. Now, a lot of people in your group might be new to this conversation, but some of the people in your group might be like me, where I remember as a young girl growing up, our Lutheran church helped resettle a community of Vietnamese refugees in our small town, and my mom was involved in that, our church was involved in that, and so I've sort of had this kind of on my radar that the church helps refugees. That's been part of my narrative growing up, and so you might have people in your group who also share similar stories like that, but then again, you might have people who really have not thought about this at all until just now. So you're going to want to be prepared to sort of let people tell their stories, talk about their experiences, and really help kind of establish this idea that the church and refugees have been connected for a long time, whether we've been aware of that or not. And that's really the topic of this week's conversation, is to get both a sense of the history of the church's involvement, but also people in your group and get their sort of history as well. And it's the importance of knowing those stories and knowing where we sit in this long history and in this long story as communities of faith. So that's going to make for some really great opening conversations as you get your group going. Your dialogue technique for this week is eye contact, and we started with something that's fairly straightforward and simple, but it's a really great way of building trust with people. It's a great way of reminding ourselves that we are talking to other human beings when we're having difficult conversations. And so we want to encourage people in your group to both make eye contact with anyone who's speaking, but then the person who's speaking is also going to work on making eye contact and not just looking down at their lap when they're trying to tell a story. This first week, have a great time, get to know each other, share some stories, make some eye contact, and we'll see you soon.